Welcome back, guys, to another quick Keystone V bulletin. Today's video will be about a bit about the coronavirus situation and what my thoughts on it are and how it's affecting the property market. Stay tuned. Right, as I always say, straight into the video. I know the COVID virus situation is very serious, affecting a lot of people's lives, and I know everyone's there's been a lot of fear mongering around us, so I can completely understand how everyone feels about it, but I'm going to concentrate on the property side of things and what it does mean to the property market going forward. From what I remember just before this, I thought after the whole Brexit stuff, professionals and experts thought that the property market started to soar again. But with this corona stuff, it's just put everyone on their back foot again, including myself, I'm gonna be honest. And if I was sitting here last week, I could have said something completely different. But last week, being in the whole lockdown in the UK, and with the housing market restrictions in regards to valuations and lending, and the government essentially freezing the housing market, where you cannot no longer move from house to house, or if you're buying a new house or selling, there's this flexible period. It's just put a lot of stress into the housing market, and we just aren't too sure where it's gonna go. Personally, this has affected our business quite a bit because we do a lot of sourcing, well, like I said, brokering bigger development deals and full block disposals. So when we think about stuff like land with planning, which a lot of developers want to do because it's low risk, essentially buying the land that has planning on it to build it out and sell it off. In situations like these, the average developer makes around 20%, 25% max, like high and on the higher side. So these deals aren't really flying off the shelves anymore because we don't know how long this situation is going to last and how bad the property market is going to take a hit. Because if say for example properties drop by 15-20%, that eats into all of the developers' profits. Never mind if something goes wrong and you miss something on the site, which adds up to another 5% on top of costs. So then it's put a lot of developers on their back foot because it's just not a risk worth taking at the moment. Saying that, if you guys are also doing stuff without planning and working with the bigger ticket clients and whole block disposals, some people are still interested. So we work with a number of funds who have internal cash funds where they no longer need financing to build out their projects. With these guys, it's a bit easier. So if anyone is doing a bit of brokering and sourcing, I'd say stick to these sort of deals. Never mind my phone. Stick to these sort of deals where essentially the developer has to come in, put in for planning themselves. It could be subject to, or it could be an outright unconditional sale where they come in, because especially for the bigger sites and the bigger funds that we work with, they want 100+ units. So sometimes the planning process can take over 2 years. So it just reduces the risk. So say the planning takes 2 years and then another 2 years, 3 years to build out the entire development. In 5 years, history tells us that the market would have recovered, it would be back, the number of people in the country would have increased, and essentially the housing market will be in a better state than it is at the moment. On the whole block disposal side, there's also a lot of developers that don't want to build and they have a lot of funding and they feel like maybe now is the time to get in and buy these below market value entire blocks. We've got like a block of 47 in Luton. You're actually looking at 1,000 unit student development in Canterbury. All these things could go off if we go at below market value. And below market value is an off word. It ticks some people off. But essentially, what the equivalent is for equivalent like for like sold comparable, we can get it at a discounted price because you're buying the entire block. All in all, cash is king at the moment. Even myself, I'm trying to keep myself liquid. I was looking to buy some HMOs and possibly some single lets, but at the moment I'm thinking maybe wait a bit. I don't know where the market's going. there's definitely good deals about at the moment, 100%. I'm already getting calls, but a lot of these guys are gonna have to be cash buys because of the lending restrictions, right? As I said at the beginning of the video. So say you got a bit of cash, maybe you can buy something up in the north where you can buy it all outright. But maybe wait around, because I'm already seeing properties getting sliced from 70 to 50k just in the matter of weeks. There's obviously going to be a lot more distressed sellers. With some mortgages are giving you the leeway of not paying for 3 months, but some won't, and some buy-to-lets won't. So there will be people looking to sell rather than get repossessed, and you might bag yourself a deal a lot at below market value, even more than usual. Normally we'd look at 15%. You could probably get up to 25, 30, and maybe in some time even more than that. But at this time, I'm not quite sure where we stand, and I feel like everyone's on the back foot and just waiting to see what happens, and that's what my take on it is. Like I said, going back into the fact that we can't do valuations and you can't get, a lot of these mortgage companies aren't giving you loans, cash is king. So what I'm trying to do is liquidate a lot of the stuff I'm doing, have some cash ready to bag these deals once they are on the market. And we really don't know how long this situation is going to last. I mean, it is a serious situation. Most of us in our lives have never gone through something like this. So it is a situation where we have to be wary on what we're doing. But it's not going to kill the housing market, because look, at the end of the day, unless the human species is wiped out, then there's always going to be space for housing, and the population will forever increase, and there will always be space and demand for housing. So don't ever think that if you were looking for a long-term buy, getting now would not affect you. It's more for guys that are developers. It may be an issue because once you've done the flip, you can't sell it on, or you've done the development and then you can't move it on, or the market's gone down. There's just a few things here and there that you need to think about while still working on your property business, right? We're still doing things. We're just shifting our focus onto other things that are going to be our bread and butter and going to bring the money in monthly, rather than for the big ticket stuff that usually would go for, but may not be the right time at this time. But that's my quick 2 cents on what I think the coronavirus and the COVID-19 will do to the housing market. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Subscribe as usual, and I hope you all stay well. Peace out and take care.